Let me ask you first of all about Mosul. We heard from the president today. He was speaking in Paris alongside the new French president, and he talked about the victory that he's marked in Mosul. Do you agree with him? We have a battle here that was hard fought. Do you chalk it up as a victory here in the fight against ISIS?
Well, it was definitely a prerequisite for moving forward because it was symbolic. When Mosul fell to ISIS, of course, it was a real shock to people, so it was necessary to take it back. It was necessary that the Iraqis do it. And I realized it was a coalition of different parts of the Iraqi forces, Kurds and whatnot, but that was just incredibly symbolic and key.
What's your sense of the integrity or the strength of the Iraqi forces at this point? Now, of course, the goal from day one was to imbue them with the ability to defend themselves. How are they doing at that now, these many years into this conflict?
Well, I think they hit a low point, obviously, after America left, and then with the rise of ISIS, it was seen that they were much more fragile and much more sectarian than they needed to be. My guess now is that what has happened is this has been a trial by fire that's now been almost 3 years, and so they are much more competent than they were. The thing about combat is it starts to make you much more of a meritocracy, and they've had to, so I like to believe that they're a much more seasoned force now.
Let me ask you how different this enemy is than the one that you faced when you were in Iraq. What you detail in this book is how you had to learn how to deal with a new kind of enemy, and that was al-Qaeda in Iraq. Here we are fighting ISIS or ISIL or Daesh or any number of terms. How different is it as an opponent than the one that you faced?
Well, it's an evolution of it. If you think of al-Qaeda from Pakistan, 1988, that was the original version. Al-Qaeda in Iraq was 2.0. And it operated using information technology, and it gave it this incredible speed and this incredible networked power. ISIS is 3.0. ISIS is a social media phenomenon that leverages frustrated young people, primarily men, who come to a cause for sometimes murky reasons, but it allows ISIS to have a military side, but much more a franchise-like effect that allows them to get a global reach. So while Mosul matters and Raqqa is important, they are not like capturing the capital of the enemy country and that ends the war. We likely are going to have to deal with the idea and the fact that there is a generation of young people now who think of themselves as ISIS fighters. And it's hard to go back to a previous job or if you never had one. This is who you are. So I think it's a long-term problem, but it will continue to evolve.